Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. I am Abdul Rahman bin Maydin with my partner Fawwaz Saufii bin Mukhtar. We are PDPP students from IPG Perlis. So for this task, we are going to discuss about the mathematical processes. So for this task, we're focusing on just two of mathematical processes in order to improve or develop the mastery of knowledge, skills, and value of mathematics among the students in Malaysia. We are focusing on secondary schools, what we call secondary students. Before we start our discussion, it is good for us to know the current situation of our students, what we call the mathematical skills and among the students in Malaysia. So the current result from the teams and PISA shows us the situation of our student. There is lack of the mathematical skill. So it is not good. That's why our education system, they have done many what we call the many alternative and find the strategies to overcome these problems. So in Malaysian education system, according to Malaysian education blueprint, right now the teaching and learning activities emphasize the mathematical processes and mathematical skills among the students alongside the acquisition of mathematical knowledge. So both are important. The knowledge and the skills, mathematical skills, are really important for the students and for their what we call to enhance the critical thinking. All the mathematical processes outlined in the Malaysian standard curriculum for primary and secondary schools education. This is KSSR and KSSM. And also, there's a guidance for the teachers in designing the instructional activities in order to promote mathematical thinking and skills among the students. So there are many mathematical processes that we are learning or we are focusing. There are 5 mathematical processes that are outlined in Malaysian standard curriculum. For the first one is problem solving, and the second one is reasoning and representation. And then the fourth one is communication, and the last one is making connection or relation. So there's 5 mathematical processes that in the Malaysian standard curriculum, but in this task we are just focusing on 2. There is problem solving and representation. Okay, for the first one, we will focus on problem solving. So problem solving is like the heart of mathematics. We can't separate the problem solving with the mathematics. It's really important. And when we talk about the what we call problem solving, it's require the higher order thinking skills. And even what we call in Bloom's taxonomy, problem solving is categorized at the highest level of the cognitive knowledge level. Okay, before we start how to integrate the mathematical processes in teaching and learning process activities, okay, there's some things that we have to take note about. There are a lot of students in Malaysia that they are lack of mathematical skills, especially they do not have the higher order thinking skills. That's why teachers should what we call find and design their activities and how to integrate the mathematical processes in the teaching and learning processes activities. So now we will talk about how to integrate problem solving skills among the students in teaching and learning activities. So there's a lot of things that strategies that the teachers could do Okay, for the first one is questioning. Okay, questionings, what we call teachers could use questionings to engage with the students actively by posing diversity in questionings and problems, so that the students they have familiar, they could what we call they face the questions for routine and non-routine problems. And this when we integrate or we give the questions routine and non-routine problems, this will stimulate the what we call the critical thinking among the students. Okay, other than that, teacher also should guide when we give the questions regarding the routine and non-routine problems or questions. Teachers also should what we call guide the students on how to perform the problem solving skills. Okay, so for the first one, teachers should guide the student on how to understand and interpret the data or the questions, problems. And the second one, on how to plan the strategy. Third one, how to implement the strategy. And the fourth one, how to make the reflection, look back on how to look at the steps or the procedure they have done, and how to make an improvement. There are a lot of strategies that the student could use, and teachers should guide the students, like make the diagram when we have the problems on how to transfer the problems. Maybe we can use a diagram, chart, or identify the patterns using algebra and using the simpler case. And there's a lot of strategies that can be done. So teachers should guide the students and on how to perform the strategies using the suitable strategies to perform the problem solving. Next, teachers also can integrate technology in teaching and learning activities in order to enhance problem solving skills among the students. As we know, we are in 21st century. So of course, we can't separate the technology with our teaching and learning processes activities. And so there's a lot of advantage of using technology in teaching and learning activities. Okay, for example, a student could use graphic calculator and software, and what we call student also can use online simulation in order to what we call the make a simulation of the question of the problem, and they could have more a deeper understanding because the thing that they facing the problems, they could visualize it using simulation in online, so it will help them to mastery the knowledge and of course enhance the problem solving skills. Okay, next, real world context. It means teachers when give the questions or problems to the students, make sure what we call the problems are related to the daily life and related to the real world context, so that it will give the deeper and meaningful learning to the students. Something that related to us, it will easy to us to understand. And for example, for mathematics form 4, there's a topic of linear motion regarding speeds, distance, time. So teachers would bring the what we call a remote control car and as a simulation and use in the classroom as show the students by what we call the by simulation, so student can see practically and about the speeds, distance, times, and they could make calculation. So when they visualize it as a simulation, so of course they will have a better understanding about the topics. We have to teachers should what we call design the activities or the problems something that related to the real world context. Besides that, teachers should also what we call make connection with other subjects. For example, by teaching mathematics, we're teaching mathematics, maybe the concept about the mathematics, but the problems connect to the other subjects. For example, science, engineering, or economics. And so by make the thing like this, making connection with the problems with other subjects, so students will have a better understanding because it is related to the real world problems. And for example, science, something that around us and something that what we call near to us. So student will have a deeper understanding about it. Okay, besides that, teachers also should develop or promote the growth mindset among the students. It means teachers should encourage the students to face the challenges in their life, face the challenges with difficult problem, and do not afraid to make the mistakes. And also don't fuss if you do not get the answer or you can't solve the difficult problems. So teachers should what we call should play the role to encourage the students. There's a problems among our students in Malaysia, and there's a lot of students they even do not want to try because they're afraid to make the mistakes. So there's no God, what we call, that's not a good thing. So teachers to overcome these things.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, thank you to Mr. Rahman because he has been explaining the mathematical process problem solving in how we want to integrate that process, that mathematical process, in the teaching and learning of mathematics. My name is Fawwaz Saufii bin Mukhtar, and I am a partner with Mr. Abdul Rahman. I will continue this presentation by presenting the second mathematical process, which is representation. All right, first representation. Representation is an important component of mathematics and often used to represent real world phenomena. Therefore, there must be a similarity between the aspect of the world that is being represented and the world that it is representing. Representation also can be defined as any notations, letters, image, or concrete objects that symbolize or represent something else. At secondary school level, representing ideas and mathematical models generally make use of symbol, geometry, graph, algebra, diagram, concrete representation, and dynamic software. Teacher can implement the element of representation process by integrating it in the activities during the teaching and learning of mathematics. This helps to improve the students' understanding and mastery knowledge, as well as skills and values in mathematics. There are several strategies that teachers can use during the process of teaching and learning. Number one is concrete materials. For example, a teacher want to teach addition and subtraction. Teachers can use a visual physical blocks to represent the process of addition and subtraction. For example, we give teacher give 5 blocks to the student, 5 physical blocks to the students, and we add 3 blocks more so that the total will become, the student will count the blocks until 1, 2, 3 until 8, so that the learning of addition as well as subtraction also can be done using concrete materials. We also can use visual representation during the integration of representation process in teaching and learning mathematics. For example, if you want to teach fraction, we can use bar models as a visual representation. So student, we can represent the 1/4 or a quarter fraction by dividing the one bar model into four equal parts. The third strategies we can use is using symbolic representation. We can use symbolic representation during the process of teaching and learning on topic algebraic equation. uh, what we can do is when we want to teach the algebra equation, we need to explain to the student what does x means in the algebra equation. So it means the unknown value of that equation. So the x mean we represent the x, the unknown value, using a symbol x. Also, we can use the strategies of modeling. In this case, we can use equations to solve a real world problem. For example, a distance time graph we can use to solve the velocity or acceleration. We can solve many problems in real world using a modeling distance time graph. And the last one is scaffolding learning. During the process of teaching and learning mathematics, we can use scaffolding learning. What is scaffolding learning? Scaffolding learning means we start from a simple basic knowledge, and then we move forward into the more complex one. That is scaffolding learning. Now we look at the methods on how we want to integrating the representation process in learning and teaching mathematics. First of all, we need to identify the learning objectives. We take as an example at the end of the teaching and learning session, pupils can solve problem involving perimeter. That is our objective. After we have identified our learning objectives, then we need to select appropriate representation. For example, for learning objective perimeter, we can use a concrete material such as ropes and measuring tape. After that, we need to introduce representation gradually. For example, in this topic, first we use a concrete material, which is ropes, to calculate the perimeter of smaller items. Then we can move on to a larger item, which is we need to use a measuring tape. In this part also, in this method also, we can add any other representation strategies. For example, we can add scaffolding learning. First, we need pupils to measure a small item like tables or his books or any others that are small. And then we can move forward to something that are bigger. For example, the floor of the class or the walls or the information boards. The next step is we need to provide multiple representation. In this topic, we have already have concrete materials, modeling representation, and scaffolding learning representation. Also, we can also add symbolic representation. For example, we can use equation or formula to solve a perimeter problem. The next one is a representation of real world context. Now remember, representation process means we represent the mathematics in the real world phenomena. So in order to solve a problem in mathematics, it should be in the context of a real world problem. For example, in this teaching and learning perimeter, how we want to create a problem for pupils to solve, we can ask student or pupils to measure the perimeter of information board in the school, and then how many pieces of the wallpaper that we need to cover all the information board in the school. The next step is we as a teacher, we need to encourage exploration and manipulation among the pupils. For example, with the given problem to calculate the perimeter of the information board throughout the school, we also can manipulate it by a different size or a different size of wallpaper that are provided, so that people can have the different answer and different approach on how to solve a problem. Then teachers need to guide a student or facilitate the student during their practice. Teacher must act as facilitators in this process. After student or pupils have done their work in providing the solution to the problems, there must be a discussion or reflection session so that student can present their ideas or their solution to the problems. And then we as a teachers, we need to compare the answers among the student, and then we choose the best answer to solve the problems. To ensure the understanding of using representation, we as a teacher must do an assessment for students. The assessment should be in terms of formative or summative, whichever we want to use. But it must be in the according to the performance level which are stated by the SKP. After we have done the assessment, the results of the assessment should guide us whether the student should be given enrichment activities or reinforcement activities. For example, we can give the students homework or any enrichment activities or practice that they can do for them to help more understanding on the topic. As a conclusion, the integration of mathematical processes in teaching and learning mathematics can benefit students' performance in several ways. Number one is deep understanding. Integrating mathematical processes such as problem solving, reasoning, and critical thinking allows students to develop a deeper understanding on mathematical concept. They learn not only how to solve specific problems, but also why and how mathematical principles work. Number two is application of knowledge. By integrating mathematical processes, students learn how to apply their mathematical knowledge to a real world situation. This enhance their ability to transfer their skills to practice context, making their learning more meaningful and relevant. Number three is enhanced problem solving skills. Mathematical processes like problem solving and representation help students develop strong problem solving skill. They learn as they analyze problems, devise strategies, and evaluate solutions, which are valuable lessons, skills across various disciplines and in everyday life. Number four is improve critical thinking. Integrating mathematical processes encourage students to think critically and analytically. They learn to evaluate informations, make logical connections, and draw conclusions. Or they can fostering a deeper level of mathematical reasoning. And the last one is development of mathematical mindsets. Integrating mathematical processes promotes the development of positive mathematical mindset to complete the all values aspired in KSSM. Students become more confident in their abilities, embrace challenges, and view mistakes as opportunities for learning and growth. In overall, integrating mathematical processes in teaching and learning mathematics not only improves students' performance but also equips them with essential skills and competency that are valuable in academic, professional, and personal contexts. That's all from us. Thank you.